Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle.
Welcome, YouTube. Welcome. How are y'all? Blessed. Homewood in the building. Road boy for life. 412 forever. 15208, baby. Holla at me. Got my shirt on. Nothing Adore Creations. Alright, let's get into this video. As y'all can see, it says Memphis PD permanently deactivates Scorpion unit, which they needed to disband them clowns. How are you a gang unit and you're doing gang type activity? I really don't understand it. You're a gang unit, but you're doing gang activity. So they needed disband. They all need, like I said, they all need to get what's coming to them. But let's get into this.
Joins us now from Memphis. I know, Shimon, you have been asking for days questions about the Scorpion unit. You had been told by sources that perhaps these officers were in the unit.
My computer's delaying a little
Short time
bit,
ago,
y'all,
we
so
learned that unit
apologize about
that these officers belong to, it has been deactivated. What more can you tell us?
Yeah, and certainly this is a significant move here by the police chief in Memphis to do this. And this was something that community members wanted. And of course, Ben Crump and the family of Tyre Nichols wanted. And today, the police chief granting them their requests, their wishes. Let me read to you what the police chief said in her decision to do this. She says that in the process of listening intently to the family of Tyre Nichols, community leaders, and the uninvolved officers who have done quality work in their assignments, it is in the best interest of all to permanently deactivate the Scorpion unit. The officers currently assigned to the unit agree unreservedly with the next step. Now, some people in this community will probably take issue with her saying that some there are doing quality work, or that the unit as a whole has been doing quality work. People here in the community have been complaining about the work that this unit has been doing. You know, you heard Ben Crump in your interview with him tell you that they have heard from people in this community who have raised issues. So, look, at least for now, the police chief granting the wishes of the community, of these family members, and disbanding this unit. Now, the Scorpion unit was created to basically target violent areas of Memphis. And what it stands for is the Street Crimes Operation to Restore Peace in our neighborhood. And the mayor and the police chief here are launching it.
They were brought together to go in high crime areas in Memphis, but end up committing the worst crime ever as a police unit. They just ignored everything that they was taught. Like, we don't care. Nothing's gonna happen to us. We just gonna do it anyway. But not today. Big goofies. The morons. That's what y'all get. Everything that's gonna happen to y'all, y'all deserve it. Big goofies.
And that's not the only cops that deserve it.
Yeah, all cops that do shit.
Anyone that murders an innocent person, regardless of whatever color, creed, or whatever, any cop that murdered, innocent people need to be dealt this way.
All of them need to be dealt this way. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice in the background, that's my baby. She's in the background. Y'all hear her? She's so sexy.
Stop that.
She's so sexy. But that's my baby. She's off in the background. Say hi, baby. Say hi. No, don't wave. They can't hear a wave, babe.
I had a drink in my mouth. Hey.
Alright, so y'all see this right here? This is what that garbage unit stands for. Now, granted, there probably is some police officers in that unit that do exactly what they supposed to do. Keep violent crimes and gang activity under control. There probably is some in there that do what they're supposed to do. But these ones decided to step out of that circle and let their badge overcloud their mind and overcloud what they were doing. They had a lapse in judgment. And this lapse in judgment cost them their jobs, their lives, and it cost their families the embarrassment of everything that's getting ready to come behind it. And this goes with not just cops in Memphis. This goes with police in New York, police in California, police in Jersey, up here in Ohio, even back home in Pittsburgh, anywhere all over, any cop that steps outside of his badge and does the opposite of what he's actually supposed to be doing, and that is being a public servant. You work for the public. They don't work for you. You work for the public. You are a public servant. But anytime you step outside of that, the actions from your consequences, you deserve everything that happens to you. And if nothing happen to you, your karma is going to happen to you. The universe will take care of you. It'll get you one way or another. If it don't get you, it'll get somebody close to you. Holla at your boy. But let's get back into this.
In November of 2021, and mostly intended to focus on homicides and robberies. They drive around in unmarked cars, and as we saw in the video, very aggressively, what they did to Tyre Nichols, pulling him out of the car, throwing him to the ground. And Ben Crump, of course, talking about the culture of this unit, and that very much is in focus now as all of these investigations continue, Pam.
Shuman Prokupez, thank you so much. Well, mostly peaceful protest marches are playing out across the country for a second day. I want to check in with Polo Sandoval in New York. You've been tracking everything, Polo. In keeping with pleas made by Nichols' mother, people have refrained from the kind of response we saw after the George Floyd video was released. What have you been hearing?
And based on what we're hearing from police departments throughout the country, a majority of these demonstrations that we've seen from coast to coast, we're talking
Sorry for
Boston,
the lag in my
Atlanta,
computer, y'all. I
Los
don't know what's
Angeles,
going
they have
on.
remained relatively peaceful except for perhaps a few isolated incidents that have taken place.
And it's not just justice for him. It's justice for Eric Holmes, for George Floyd, for everybody that the police has put 6 feet under and just stood there and hid behind their badge, and their cities just held up for them. Like even up here in Ohio. They still have not released the pictures of these officers. They still have not said what's going to happen to these officers. Let them tell you they still investigating it. They want to claim it's justified. These officers are back at work up here in Ohio for killing Jalen Walker. They're back at work. Nothing. Not a piece of paper was thrown at them. Not an old piece of lettuce. Not an old head of lettuce. Not even an old Brussels sprout was thrown at them. They just quietly go back to work. Because they want to keep their quote-unquote identities a secret from the public. Why? So they can go out and do it again? And you're going to hide them behind the badge again? When things like that happen, they need to really go and study and look deep into police activities, into whole units, into police forces when they're under scrutiny like this and they come across and there's too much media attention. I would say disband them until an investigation is done, or get rid of the ones that you're going after, that you're targeting. We've all had run-ins with the police, and we all know the police could be a-holes. They could be douchebags. We all know that. We all know that. I think these were boys that were bullied in school, and they start lifting weights and got the tight shirts on. Then all of a sudden they got a badge and a gun, and they turned into Superman. I don't understand it. Like they just start power tripping. Like, do you realize, dude? You work for me. I don't work for you. You work for me. And then they blatantly ignore things that you tell them. My experience, I've seen it. They just ignore. They just disregard whatever you say to them. But let's get back into this.
But really what that those 21 minutes of inaction that you just mentioned, Pamela, that's certainly fueling that outrage for so many people, and they're echoing Benjamin Crump's call to basically expand the scope of charges beyond those 5 officers, and that is why tonight we're preparing to see yet another wave of these demonstrations in cities throughout the United States. One happening as we speak here in New York City in Washington Square Park, where a group of individuals are peacefully assembling with a long line of speakers. Our affiliate at WCBS had an opportunity to speak to one of the leaders of that event that's taking place right now just a short time ago.
So we are out here to fight and call for justice once again and continuously, because the work did not stop in 2020, it didn't stop in 2021, and it did not stop in 2022. We are still here and we are still fighting until justice is done.
Okay, let me get myself together here, y'all. All right. Marching and protesting, it's all fine and good. But what has it really gotten us? Where has it really gotten the victims, the family of these people? Where's it really gotten the family? That y'all just keep protesting every time something like this happens. Until we start saying enough is enough, it's going to keep happening. It should be about time that everybody puts down the signs for all of that and say enough is enough. When you start knocking down doors and get their attention to where you're not going for this type of treatment no more, they'll start to change the laws, and they'll start to change how police go about doing things in the community, even within your own community. If you start doing this within your own community, I guarantee you it will change. Start kicking down doors. Let their family members end up on social media, on CNN, on Fox, on ABC, NBC, CBS, the local network channels. Let their sons, daughters, or whoever end up on that channel gone, unalived. Let them be on there unalived. I guarantee things will start changing.
First of all, we need to stop killing ourselves.
Exactly. First things first, we need to stop committing crimes against ourselves. Powers that be, that's what they want. They want us to go around and just kill each other. It makes their jobs easier. It makes their jobs a whole lot easier. I've been noticing and saying this for years to people that I can have a conversation with about this, and not have a blind or one-way conversation with somebody who doesn't understand what I'm talking about. Who wants to be, what can I say? Who wants to be a systematic person. They just put the key in them, turn them on, and they just go by what the system say. This system has been flawed for years, forever. This system is not made for us. It's not. And I'm not being a racist person. I'm not being a racist. I can't be a racist. But the system is not set up for the melanated people. It's not. You have foreigners that come over here almost every day. They'll open up a business. They'll open up a shop. They'll open up car dealerships. You'll see a car dealership pop up a week later. The lot is full of expensive cars. And here is foreign people that own that used car lot. You've been walking this planet. You've been up here forever trying to get your own little business started. You ain't got a piece of gravel moved on the lot to even build a foundation for your business. But yet a foreign person can open a used car lot within a year of being here. 6 months to a year of being in this country. This country is not meant for us. The system's not meant for us. The system for us is meant to hold us back as much as it can. Every once in a while, somebody slips through the cracks and get what what they go after. But once we start just really pushing, and stop giving, and stop taking, and stop settling for what they give us, things will change. But let's get back into this video, peoples.
Having covered this before, or similar situations before, it is a very similar message to what we've heard from demonstrators in the past, but we're also hearing that something is certainly different. That swift response that we saw from officials in Memphis when it comes to the charges, that it's certainly something that many demonstrators are accepting, and also police departments from around the country joining in that outrage, not just because of the actions of the officers, but of course the inaction as well.
Paul Sandoval, thank you so much. Joining us now is Tennessee Congressman Steve Cohen, whose district includes much of Memphis. Congressman, good to see you. You're the fourth generation of your family to call Memphis home. How is your city doing today?
I think the city's doing pretty well. It's been an unnerving experience to see one of our fellow citizens, who was such a nice, innocent, free-spirited young man, murdered by the Memphis Police Department. My first job out of law school was working as a civilian attorney for the Memphis Police Department nearly 50 years ago. And I taught officers in the academy. I worked on cases that were disciplinary actions. And so I know the police department, at least I knew it 50 years ago. It's much better than it was. It still needs a lot more work. We've got a new U.S. attorney. We've got a new district attorney general and a new director of chief of police, and they've done an excellent job in getting on this early and showing that the city and the federal government, with its location here in West Tennessee, want to bring about justice, and the federal government wants to help and will help. I know that. But it's unnerving, and it's just terribly sad.
Certainly, and just picking up on what you mentioned there, you used to be an advisor, a legal advisor for the department. I'm curious, if you were still advising the department, what would you suggest? Do you think the other officers who were on that scene should also be let go and possibly charged? What do you think?
Did y'all see me right now?
I'm not sure if they should be let go or not, but I know they should be have an administrative hearing and possibly be reprimanded in some manner. There were at least 4 other officers on the scene that stood around and did nothing. The duty to...
We started out with 5 or 6. Started out with 6, and we end up with, oh no, okay, these are the same ones. That's just their pictures, their mug shots on the bottom. Okay, gotcha.
Remember, it was a female too.
Yeah.
It was a total of 7.
Yeah, but I'm looking at this picture right here, baby. I just got confused. But let's get back into this, y'all.
To render aid is a major part of a police officer's job to protect and serve. And those officers did not do that. There were probably other officers involved. There was an officer back at the scene who was, I think, a 6th member of the Scorpion unit who didn't go to the scene. He was the person who drove up in the first video that had his body camera or his camcorder working. And he said, I hope they stop him. Mm-hmm. I'm afraid what he said was indicative of the attitude of the Scorpion unit, and maybe police in general, but more likely the Scorpion unit specifically, to take their aggressions out and take the law in their own hands. And this is always wrong. So I don't know how they've been trained. I'm sure they've been trained well, but I don't know if this group particularly learned their lesson, and they acted on basically blue testosterone and ego. But it started with that. When they grabbed him out of the car, it wasn't, excuse me, you don't have to excuse me, but let me show us your driver's license. And why did you run that light, or why did you run out of the lane, or whatever it could have been. We saw them all giving what
That's a good
probably
point.
George Santos type descriptions of what occurred earlier.
He just made a good point. When they pulled him over, they didn't even say, well, can I see your license and registration and proof of insurance? They just from the door, get out the car. Get out the goddamn car. Get out the fucking car. And then just dragged him out. Then while they had him on the ground, they told him to be still, give me your arms, or, you know what I mean, put your hands behind your back. And you can hear the one cop talking about, man, if you don't give me your arm, I'll break your shit. For no reason at all. All of this is because of a traffic stop. Come on, man.
When they were saying he weaved in and out of traffic, he was in the wrong lane, he reached for my gun. These were alibis that they were posting, knowing they were videoing, and they were laying out their defense. And I couldn't trust any one of them because they didn't take their oath of office to their heart, and they just beat him to hell. And there were three of them. Two of them, one kicked him, one punched him, and one hit him with the stiff baton, and the other two held him. All five are rotten apples. And I commend the police chief for doing what she did. But she and Mayor Strickland, both of them want to do right, are at the toughest job coming forward. They need to clean the department of bad apples. They need to get intensive training. They need to make sure de-escalation comes first. I've had a bill for about 8 years in the Congress. It was part of George Floyd, saying that we need to have training of officers in other ethnic groups to understand ethnic differences and to look at de-escalating tense situations. The Memphis Police Department trains, but they need to make it more of a regular part of the curricula that there is undertaken and observed and protocol taken out by the officers to de-escalate. There was no effort to de-escalate.
No, not at all. How do you change the culture? I mean, as you said, you were an advisor there 30 years ago. You said it's better now than it was. I can't imagine how it was back then. If you were saying it's better now, what can actually be done to change policing and the culture?
Well, one thing is you can get more money, and the federal government has monies available starting this next spring with grants the Memphis Police Department should apply for to hire officers in high population areas. We need to have more money to pay officers so we can get a better grade of officer. We had some differences with the police association over compensation, over health benefits, over retirement benefits, and a lot of police officers left Memphis and went to higher paying jobs in Dallas and other cities that could afford to pay more. We need to be able to pay more and compete with other cities to get the best and brightest. I don't know if these five guys, they certainly were hired more recently when the benefits were the least. So we may not be getting the cream of the crop. Obviously, they were not the cream of the crop. That's what. And secondly, you just have to have more intensive training. You have to have better
my dog, y'all.
Supervision. Your commanders have to stress this.
You want to see my dog? You want to see my dog? This is what I'm talking to. Come here, Mama. Come here. Come here. See my little scraggly doggy. See my little scraggly doggy. Her name is Mina. Y'all see her? Look. She's getting ready to get a bath because she stinks. So, okay. Get down, Mama. Go. Alright. Let's get back into this.
I'd like to see a return to the old community-oriented policing, where the neighborhoods know the policemen, the police people, women and men, are in the communities, making friends, helping people, and getting tips. And we don't do enough of that. Rather than have scorpion units out to pounce on people like they pounced on him when he got out of the car, throwing him down. They were so nervous you wondered if they were hopped up on something. They were out of control and not very professional at all.
They were way out of control, man.
And who know the neighborhood, and I think that's a more effective manner of policing.
Way out of control. So, with that being said right there, y'all, it's crazy. It's crazy because it don't make no sense. None. As y'all can see right here, it don't make no sense. So let's get into this right here. 2 more officers relieved of duty in Memphis amid Tyre Nichols. Let's get into this.
BC's Stephanie Ramos joins me live from Memphis with more on this. Stephanie, what more do we know about these officers? BC's Stephanie Ramos joins.
All right. So here we go again, y'all. This is gonna be a long video, but we're gonna have to pause and I'm gonna come back. Gonna be a 3-parter right here, baby. So let me go ahead, take a recess. I'm gonna come back to y'all. Love y'all. Oh, something's in my eye. Ooh, I got it. Love y'all. Peace. Stay blessed.